They say age is just a number, but only fools believe that's all it is. Age carries stories, scars, and strength. And if you've lived long enough to read this, you've probably realized something. The world may worship youth, but it desperately needs wisdom. You've seen trends come and go, watched boys chase beauty without ever learning what women truly crave. Here's the truth that most won't tell you: being older is not your disadvantage. It's your greatest edge. Because while the young show up with muscles and swagger, you show up with confidence carved from decades of living. And if you learn how to use it, that edge will cut through every insecurity you've ever had about dating someone younger. This isn't a manual for manipulation. If you're tired of feeling like you've missed your chance, I'm here to tell you, you haven't. You just need to stop trying to impress and start learning how to lead with class, clarity, and character. So let's start with the first lesson, the one that most men ignore, but the one that matters the most. Ready? Let's talk about presence, not presence. Before you even think about approaching a younger woman, ask yourself one hard question. Why do I want her? Be brutally honest. Is it about proving something to yourself, filling a void, escaping loneliness? Or is it because you genuinely admire her spirit, energy, and the connection you sense between your differences? Because here's the raw truth: women, especially younger ones, can smell insecurity from a mile away. If you come from a place of carencia hoping she'll validate your masculinity or make you feel young again, you've already lost. But if your desire is rooted in clarity, not fantasy, you'll move with a kind of confidence that Dose and T need to shout. Young women are tired of boys who chase attention. What they crave is presence. Someone who knows who he is, someone who doesn't panic in silence or rush to impress. Authenticity will always outshine vanity. This lesson is about intention, and if yours is clear, grounded, and free of desperation, you won't just stand out. You'll feel untouchable. Now that you've faced that question, it is time to talk about the second thing most older men get wrong: how they show up. Because swagger without substance is just noise. There's nothing more cringeworthy than an older man trying to blend in with 20-somethings talking like them, dressing like them, acting like he's still in college. Here's the truth: you'll never win that game, and you don't need to. Young women aren't looking for an older version of their ex. They're curious about what you bring to the table that boys their age can't. And trust me, it's not your TikTok slang or the fact you wear sneakers with a suit. It's your maturity, your groundedness, your calm when life gets chaotic. When you try to compete with youth, you diminish your edge. You erase the very qualities that make you different and desirable. A man who owns his age without apology is magnetic. He's the one who doesn't need to prove anything. And in that space, curiosity grows. So instead of trying to act younger, lean into your age. Share your stories, your wisdom, your scars. Show her how silence can be strength. Show her what stability looks like. Because while youth may attract the eye, maturity holds the soul. Now that we've put the fake youth behind us, let's talk about what really builds attraction over time. There's a fine line between a man who walks with quiet certainty and one who talks too loud because he's scared of silence. Young women aren't drawn to noise, they're drawn to presence. That subtle calmness of a man who doesn't need to show off. He knows who he is. He's not chasing validation. And that energy, it's rare, it's powerful. Confidence doesn't mean bragging about your career or flexing your bank account. It's in the way you sit, the way you listen, the way you say, "I don't know," without shame. It's the look in your eye that says, "I've been through storms, and I'm still standing." Cockiness, on the other hand, is insecurity dressed up in cheap cologne. It tries to impress. Confidence expresses, and the difference is everything. Think of the wise old cowboy in the movies. He doesn't shout. He doesn't need to. His silence says more than a boy's monologue ever could. That's your role now. So, before you try to impress her with stories, ask yourself, am I showing off? Or just showing up? Next, let us talk about something that separates boys from men in every culture. You'd be shocked how many young women feel invisible, not because no one looks at them, but because no one truly hears them. In a world full of noise, speed, and shallow scrolling, listening has become rare and priceless. But real listening, the kind that creates connection, doesn't come from the ears. It comes from the heart. Don't interrupt. Don't wait for your turn to speak. Don't assume you already know what she's about to say. Instead, be still. Be present. Listen with your eyes, your posture, your spirit. Let her feel, in the silence between your responses, that you're not just hearing words, you're holding space for her truth. When she shares her fears, don't fix them. When she talks about her dreams, don't compare them to yours. Just be the man who makes her feel safe in her expression. Because trust doesn't begin with attraction, it begins with being understood. And here's the truth. Most of the world listens to reply. You, as a wise man, should listen to connect. That's the real charm. Now that you've learned to listen, let's explore the next secret to winning her heart. Not just her attention. And she may be young, but don't mistake that for weakness. Many young women today are already carrying more emotional weight than most men notice. Between the expectations of society, the noise of social media, and the fear of not being enough, what she doesn't need is another man adding more pressure. Here's where you stand out. As an older man, your greatest gift isn't in chasing or impressing, it's in bringing peace. A calm energy, a grounded presence, a steady voice that doesn't demand, doesn't rush, and doesn't play games. She doesn't want fireworks every day. She wants a place to breathe, to rest, to be herself without needing to be perfect. Don't ask for more than she's ready to give. Don't overanalyze every silence. Don't turn interest into obsession. Let things unfold naturally. And when she feels anxious, let your presence be her reminder that not all men bring chaos, some bring clarity. Because in a world that keeps telling her to be more, the one who tells her she's enough wins her trust. Now that you understand how peace speaks louder than pressure, let us talk about something that speaks without words. There is a big difference between being interested and being interesting. Most older men don't get this. They shower a younger woman with attention, compliments, questions, flattery, but attention alone doesn't make you attractive. Substance does. Young women live in a world of superficial gestures. What makes you stand out isn't just how you look at her, but what stories your life has to tell. And speaking of unforgettable, money can open doors, no doubt about it. But if you think a fat wallet is the key to winning a young woman's heart, you're missing the bigger picture. What truly captivates her is your mindset, your purpose, your vision for life, your ability to grow and inspire. A man with a clear direction, who's passionate about something greater than himself, carries a magnetic energy that no amount of cash can buy. It's about showing her that you're not just surviving, you're thriving, evolving, and have a plan for tomorrow. Money is temporary. A strong mindset is lasting. Young women today are drawn to men who challenge them intellectually and emotionally, not just financially. They want to feel that you see the world differently, that you're a leader in your own story, and that you can guide her to new horizons. So instead of flashing wealth, share your dreams. Show your commitment to growth. Demonstrate that you're not afraid of failure, only afraid of stagnation. Because when you lead with vision, she follows willingly. Taking care of yourself isn't about trying to turn back the clock or pretending you're re-25 again. That's a losing game, and it's usually obvious and unappealing. What truly matters is embracing your age with pride while maintaining your health, appearance, and energy. It's about showing that you value yourself enough to invest in your well-being, but without chasing youthful illusions. When you care for your body, your grooming, and your mindset, it sends a powerful message. You respect yourself, and that respect naturally draws others in. Young women notice when a man is vibrant and energetic, not because he's trying to be someone he's not, but because he honors himself. Real vitality comes from balance, good nutrition, consistent exercise, restful sleep, and a positive outlook. Forget fad diets or risky surgeries. Focus on authenticity. A fit, confident man who owns his age and takes pride in his presence. This is far more attractive than any desperate attempt to relive youth. One of the biggest mistakes older men make when trying to connect with a younger woman is trying to dominate or dismiss her world. Respecting her generation, her values, her culture, and her experiences is crucial. It is not about pretending to be young or adopting every trend, but showing genuine interest and respect for what shapes her life today. This means listening without judgment, avoiding condescending attitudes, and embracing the differences rather than fighting them. Remember, respect builds trust, and trust builds connection. When you honor her perspective, you create a space where she feels seen and valued, not controlled. Avoid the urge to lecture or impose your old-school views. Instead, engage in open, honest conversations where both of you learn from each other. Showing respect for her world is a powerful way to bridge the age gap and build something authentic. This respect doesn't mean losing yourself. It means expanding your understanding to meet her halfway. The final lesson is perhaps the most important. Knowing when to let go and when to go all in. Wisdom isn't just about persistence, it's about emotional intelligence. Sometimes, the bravest act is to walk away gracefully when things aren't right. Other times, It's about committing fully, without hesitation. A younger woman values a man who can read the signs, who doesn't cling to what isn't working, but also knows when to invest deeply. It's about balance. Forcing something that isn't meant to be only breeds resentment and frustration. Emotional maturity means recognizing when your feelings are genuine, and when they're rooted in fear or loneliness. It means respecting her autonomy and your own. Going all in means showing up with honesty, vulnerability, and courage. Letting go means preserving your dignity and making space for growth, whether that's together or apart. This emotional clarity is what sets the wise man apart from the desperate one. It tests the final seduction, knowing yourself so well that you make choices that honor both hearts. With this lesson, you're not just chasing youth, you're embodying wisdom, respect, and real connection. And that brings us to the end of these 10 lessons, a journey that isn't about age but about heart. There is some magic that happens when an old soul meets a young flame, not because of the years, but because of the truth they share. Age is just a number. What truly captivates is authenticity, respect, and a heart that listens. Young women aren't looking for a trophy or a competition. They want someone real, someone who brings calm in the chaos, wisdom in the noise, and warmth in the cold. When you lead with honesty and emotional maturity, you become a rare kind of man they can trust and admire. Remember, it's not about trying to be someone you're not. It's about embracing who you are and offering that with confidence and kindness. The path to winning a young woman's heart isn't paved with gimmicks or shallow tricks. It's built on genuine connection, patience, and understanding. So, if you're an older man wondering how to connect with a younger woman, start with this. Be true to yourself, respect her world, and never underestimate the power of heartfelt presence. Your age is your strength when paired with authenticity. That's the real secret. If these lessons spoke to you, share your thoughts below. And remember, wisdom is timeless, just like love.